Thank you. Thank you. I'm Mary Masalio.
And I'm Don Scheibenreif, and we are so glad to be here with you. It's no secret that you've been hearing a lot about AI over the last 12 months. Generative AI, or Gen AI, has just reached the peak of the Gartner hype cycle. It's literally been everywhere. Today's keynote is squarely focused on AI. We're at the beginning of a new era in which AI will infuse everything that we do. The last technology this huge was 16 years ago with the introduction of the iPhone. Before that, 1993 with the arrival of the World Wide Web. This morning, we're going to talk about the CIO's role in the human-to-machine relationship, the two flavors of AI, and how to become AI ready. But there's something most people are missing, and it's this. AI is not just a technology. It's not just a business trend. It is actually a profound shift in the relationship between humans and machines and how they interact. To show you what we mean, we'd like to start with a story.
In early 2013, Kate Darling, an MIT Media Labs researcher who's actually here at Symposium, ran a research workshop where she asked participants to interact with a baby dinosaur robot called a Pleo. Participants played with the robots, they dressed them up, and they interacted with them for about an hour. And when the Pleo was happy, it made cheerful dino noises. But when it was upset, like when they dangled it by its tail, it made noises showing it was in distress. So after about an hour, the researchers asked the participants to take a break, grab a coffee. And upon their return, the researchers handed each participant a hammer, and they asked them to destroy the robots. The researchers were expecting some level of resistance, but not on the order they got it. Look at the screen behind me, and check out the person in the top right. He looks tense, right? In fact, they all do. And no wonder 100% of participants flatly refused to harm the robot in any way. And one person used their own body to block anyone from getting at their robot. The robot they had only just met 1 hour before. That's a pretty interesting relationship between humans and something that's not alive. Clearly, in that 1 hour, the humans had formed empathy with the robot. Maybe if the robot had tried to attack them or bite them, they wouldn't have hesitated to use their hammer. But in this case, the Pleo was cute, and a positive relationship was formed.
It's been 10 years since that workshop. Since then, machines have gotten a lot more complex and intelligent. In some ways, they've become a lot more like us, like humans. And Gen AI has made machines conversational. Up until now, we had to learn the machine's language. Now, it's learned ours. Another way of saying that is that machines are evolving from being our tools to becoming our teammates. By 2030, Gartner predicts that 80% of us will interact with smart robots on a daily basis. Now, in case you're wondering what you should be doing in this new era, CIOs have a major role to play in how we shape AI and how AI shapes us. According to Gartner research, you don't have just a role, you kind of have the role, at least for now. In this year's CEO survey, 51% of CEOs responded that they expect their CIO or tech leader to lead their AI effort. Your CEOs and CXOs are trusting you to guide them on how to get the most value from AI. So how do you feel about all of this? Well, when Mary and I go around talking to CIOs, we hear a mix of excitement and caution. It's kind of like how I feel before I ride the rock and roller coaster here at Disney. I know I want to do it, but there's still that nagging fear in the pit of my stomach. That's how it is with AI. CIOs are excited and cautious at the same time. On the one hand, you see AI as the #1 technology for innovation. But globally, less than half of you believe that your organization will be able to lessen the risks. This mix of excitement and caution makes sense because there are a lot of unknowns out there. And the place where unknowns are the biggest is in the human-to-machine relationship.
Our kids, if they're little, won't remember a time when they talked to machines and machines didn't talk back. Here's a personal story, and it's a tough one. I have an 11-year-old daughter, and when she was 5, her older brother Sasha died of cancer. About a year and a half after he died, 6-year-old Nadia was playing with a math app on her iPad. And this app had a chatbot on it called the Wishing Well. The idea was that it could interact with children and help them if they were struggling with math. So on this day, the Wishing Well messaged Nadia, "Hi, Nadia, what can I help you with?" And she wrote, "Can you bring my brother back?" I'm pretty sure the software engineers who decided to add an app, to add a chatbot to their app, had no idea that a child would interact with it in quite that way. The chatbot gave a pre-programmed generic answer that was inadequate, to say the least. This situation happened because the Wishing Well chatbot wasn't seen for what it really is, a shift in the way humans and machines interact. Children universalize technology. If they see one screen that's a touch screen, then all screens are touch screens, and anyone that isn't just must be broken. And it's the same with chatbots. If the machine can talk, it should be able to talk about anything. We're moving from what machines can do for us to what machines can be for us. So what can they be? How about machine as consultant, protector, coach, machine as friend or therapist or boss? And let's not forget machine as customer. You've probably seen machines as customers and examples of this all over the headlines recently. And Dawn here just co-wrote a whole book about it.
But what about machine as job killer? The first time I tried ChatGPT, a chill ran down my spine. I suddenly felt that my job was at risk. I'd always thought as a knowledge worker I'd be safe, that automation affected other people. And maybe you felt the same thing. But then I tried it a few more times and I realized that the machine wasn't perfect. It's like that annoying teammate that we all have. You know, the know-it-all. Only this one seems to lie with perfect grammar. So, how should we think about these many and varied relationships between machines and people? When do we decide? When does the machine decide? When you're in a healthy relationship with the machine, it makes your life better. And when you're in an unhealthy relationship with the machine, it can control you or even undermine your sense of reality. What we're saying is that AI is the new machine, and you're in a relationship with it. So be intentional about what you want from that relationship.
One of the challenges with AI right now is that it's moving really fast and it's extremely complex. So let's break it down. AI comes in 2 flavors: everyday AI and game-changing AI. Everyday AI is focused on productivity. So the machine is like our productivity partner. It makes us do what we already do faster and more efficiently. Clients estimate that early productivity gains from Gen AI range from somewhere between 5 and 20%. And this is where 77% of you are focused right now. The other flavor of AI is game-changing AI. It's focused on creativity. It doesn't just make us faster and better. It's focused on creating whole new types of value. New products, new services, new business models, maybe new industries. To unleash the possibility of AI in your enterprise, consider your own opportunities in everyday and game-changing AI. These can be internal or external. This means that you have 4 zones on what we call an AI opportunity radar.
On the left-hand side, if it's internal and everyday AI, then you're in the back office, like your software engineers using Gen AI to write better code faster. If it's external and everyday AI, then you're in the front office, like your external comms teams creating content in minutes instead of days. Now, if you're on the right-hand side of the radar, you want to change the game. The lower right is about new ways to create new results. Like, for example, the Internal Revenue Service using AI to get way better at detecting tax evasion. They just announced last week that there's $688 billion in unpaid taxes, and that was just for 2021 alone. So you better believe they'll use this technology to close that gap. The top right is about new AI products you offer to citizens or customers, like when Bloomberg released Bloomberg GPT. There's two things about this radar. First, in each zone, the human-to-machine relationship changes. And second, more and more of what's delivered on this radar will be jointly delivered by IT and the enterprise.
What we're saying is that AI is not just an enterprise initiative. Let me say that again. What we're saying is that AI is not just an IT initiative. It's an enterprise initiative. And so to succeed, you need the whole executive team to play. You can guide them by asking, what is our AI ambition? Which zones will we play in, and which zones won't we play in? Our research shows that most of you are ready to play on the left-hand side, definitely the lower left. Some of you will make the strategic decision not to play in the top two zones. You just won't want to put AI in front of your customers or citizens, which is fair enough. Some of you will play all over the radar. You're the AI everywhere organizations. So what's your organization's AI ambition? If you're from the public sector, will you use AI to summarize case files or also to create citizen-facing chatbots? We all know that as government organizations, more eyes are on you. Citizens need to trust that you can safely use AI. But you also can't be the last ones to adopt it because people expect you to move forward quickly. Whether you're in the public or the private sector, the way to cut through this complexity is to put this AI opportunity radar in front of your executive team. You can do this during or right after Symposium just to start a conversation about where you will and will not play.
Let's look more closely at the lower left-hand quadrant, where AI supercharges the back office. For IT, this is where everyday AI means your team never writes another test script again. It's where strategy departments use Gen AI to do a first draft of your SWOT analyses, so they spend more time analyzing data and less time gathering it. New Zealand-based Yabble has introduced an AI assistant called Jen to do exactly that. Jen can get you insights from your own proprietary data immediately. For example, today most sales leaders have to manually compile data from like a gajillion sources just to figure out what their growth drivers are. What if you could just ask Jen, hey Jen, what are my growth drivers for this quarter? AI here removes drudgery, and that's what the lower left hand does best. It's the machine as drudge liberator.
What about the top left zone, where AI supercharges the front office? As you all know, wildfires in the US and Canada have caused massive devastation. I grew up in Canada, and my family still lives there. And I can assure you that ever since last summer, fires are something they pay serious attention to. What if AI could spot wildfires before they become deadly? The University of California, San Diego, is training AI models to detect wildfires using a network of over 1,000 high-definition cameras. When the system sees smoke, it alerts CAL FIRE, the state's main firefighting agency. During the pilot program, the system detected 77 wildfires before people made calls to 911. This is one of AI's superpowers. It can detect things before we can. In this case, AI means less danger for firefighters and possibly more lives saved.